Welcome to Positive Talk Daily. My name is Mr. Positive. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Mr. Positive Live. Click on the bell icon on YouTube and get notified when we go live and post new videos. Please subscribe to our YouTube page today. Today on Positive Talk Daily, we're doing a video review on the TCL K32 5G. That's right, the TCL K32 5G. Pretty long name, would you say, for a smartphone that's retailed for $120. That's right, $120. But if you join Metro by T-Mobile or open up a new line of service through T-Mobile, you get this phone for free. And right now there's a plan. If you go to Walmart and go to the cell phone section, that's where I got mine, the K32 5G can be yours for as low as free. $40 or $50 plan, and you got a phone for free. Okay. Coming up, we're going to be doing a full video review in a few weeks on the new Rebel 8 that just came out. The Rebel 8 just came out. We're going to take a look at that phone and see if that's worth purchasing. It's another it's another inexpensive T-Mobile device that is branded by T-Mobile. And we'll talk about that in about 2 weeks right here on Positive Talk Daily. Again, that's my full video review of the TCL 50XL TCL K32 5G. Now, what do I like about this phone is it does have a pretty nice screen. Now, in the first video, I did say that I said that the screen didn't get that bright, but it actually does. Surprisingly, it gets up to about 400 nits of brightness. It's not the worst device I have ever used. You will see, overall, if you're looking at glare and stuff, you can see right there that that doesn't really give. It's not bright enough, especially if you're using this device outdoors. But if we're looking right at the main camera, as you can see, it's not that bad. Okay. Overall, we got a nice 6.7-inch screen. It is an IPS panel, and nothing to crawl home about. It does get the job done. It's a bright enough screen. You do have TCL's technology here in the screen. We would have liked to have seen maybe not so much an OLED panel, but maybe a brighter LCD panel. I mean, they make some of the best TVs, TCL. So I'm not sure why they couldn't easily just put a better panel. The TV you see behind me has a TCL panel on it, so you would assume maybe they would do that with this. Going over the phone as well, the back has a pretty nice design. You can see in the back here. It's the same thing. I got my case on it. You do get a 13 megapixel main camera and a 2 megapixel micro camera. I think the 2 megapixel micro camera is a waste of money if you're listening to TCL. Overall, the 13 megapixel camera isn't too bad. It does okay in 1080p video. It maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. So not the best quality, but for $120, we're not going to bitch. And if you're getting this phone for free, who cares? You got a camera, right? The front-facing camera is a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Nothing to call home about either. It does okay. It takes okay video. Again, maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Okay, you do get a fingerprint scanner on the sides. You do get your fingerprint scanner, the up and down volume rockers. You do get a noise canceling microphone at the bottom. Type-C charging, which is capable of 25 watt fast charging if you have the charger. You do get a charger in the box. And the wire, which is kind of nice to see. A lot of these companies are trying to do away with that. You do get a headphone jack on the bottom. You get a headphone jack, so that is good. Stereo speakers on here as well. One thing you will be unhappy with on this phone, as I've been using it for 30 days, there is no NFC. And that pisses me off when you've got companies, sorry for the language, when you've got companies like Blue, Bold Like Us, the company Blue, which is based out of Miami, putting NFC on the BlueView 7. BlueView 7. They're actually putting on the BlueView 6. I'm sorry, the BlueView 6. They're actually putting NFC on a $40 smartphone. Come on now, TCL. I mean, Bold Like Us. The BlueView 6 has NFC, and it's like retail for $30. Walk into Walmart, you got a $30 smartphone, maybe some change, and you get NFC. I mean, come on, TCL, they're selling this for $120. I think they're ripping people off, honestly. In 2025, there's no reason why companies like TCL, Samsung, Even Samsung is known for doing this as well. You can go right now. I mean, get the A15 5G over this phone. Even that has 5G connectivity. You also have NFC. So if you're used to paying with payments at your grocery store and stuff, there's no reason to buy this if you don't get NFC. Now, for those out there who are just looking for a cheap smartphone, that's fine. This will get the job done. Now, I will say some good things about this. The phone has really, really good battery life with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery or 5,010 milliamp hour battery, which gives you about 2 days worth of battery life. This phone charges fast. I have a 25 watt charger from a former TCL device, and that thing charges quick. I can charge this up in 15 minutes, and it's at full charge. Now, I like to keep my phones charged. Even at 70%, I always top it off. I know it ain't good for the phone, but I always top off my devices. It's just what it is. Now, the design of the phone is actually really unique. I like the design of the device. I like how they put the cameras on here. I like that it's got kind of a shiny back. It is a fingerprint magnet somewhat, but I bought a case, and the case works great. I got this on Amazon. It's a great phone. Overall, it feels great in the hand. It's a good size phone. It feels like me when I use my iPhone 16 Pro Max. It kind of feels like that. So nice and heavy and stuff like that. There is no water propellant on here. Nothing like what Motorola puts on their devices. You will be stuck with just a plain old phone. So you're going to have to buy either a screen protector or a case. So that's what I did. No screen protector on mine. I like to carry mine without a screen protector. I know I should probably put it. I have it on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, but I probably should have it on this. Overall, it's not a bad phone. It's not a bad phone. Over the last 30 days, I've taken photos with it, video. I posted those photos on my Facebook, Instagram. Go check it out on my Instagram at Mr. Positive Live. You can see those even on my Snapchat. So follow me on Snapchat, Mr. Positive Live. The phone is decent for $120. It really is. It's not that bad. Now, there are some positives. You are getting the Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 processor with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of virtual RAM. So you round that to 8 gigs. Now, virtual RAM will slow the phone down. Just be aware of that. The charging speeds are very quick on here. Like I said, I have had no issues whatsoever. The sound quality is really, really good as well with stereo speakers. So we're not going to complain. TCL has done a really good job on here, and you are going to get 2 years of security updates, which is nice to see from TCL. Now, they do have the NXT paper we did a video review on. That's the TCL 50XL NXT paper. I think that's still a better phone than this. The fact that you're getting a Snapdragon chipset versus a MediaTek chipset, I think is a good thing, too. And the fact that you get the virtual RAM does help. So if you're going to use this phone to game, good news is we gamed with this phone, and Genshin Impact did really well on here. You had to turn the settings down to mid-range, but it still did fine. We also played Call of Duty Mobile, had no hiccups, ran 30 frames per second, ran really, really well. And you do get 90 hertz refresh rate, so you can use that in the gaming. You can also use that 90 hertz refresh rate if you're using Facebook. I mean, everything on here loads pretty quick. Depending on your internet connection, I mean, I had no issues. It's pretty snappy compared to, say, a 60 hertz panel you find on your iPhones that are still using an older refresh rate. Apple, come on, put a 90 to 120 hertz refresh rate on the new iPhone 17. Stop putting these 60 hertz panels. And you know, YouTube runs really well on here. You do have that stereo speaker, so if you like to listen to your music, it gets loud and everything else. You can use, there is no AI unless you're using Google Gemini or something like that. You'll get your Google Assistants, that type of stuff. I'm going to go with my top 5 list, which I like about this phone, which I've been using over the last month, last 30 days. It's been over 30 days. I should have made this video like last week, but number 5, what I like about this phone. It's overall, it's snappy. That Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 processor is awesome. Honestly, I've had no issues with it. It's a 2.4 gigahertz chipset, so you're going to get plenty of speeds, plus you have virtual RAM, plus the 4 gigs, plus virtual RAM. 8 gigs is perfect. So you're getting 8 gigs, you get the virtual RAM, then the 4 gigs of regular RAM, then the virtual RAM. Then you can expand that storage with a micro SD card, so that you really can't go wrong. And I believe this does have eSIM compatibility. I believe I read that it does have eSIM compatibility. And you can also use regular SIMs as well. So it's also a dual SIM phone. So that's kind of nice. you're traveling overseas and you need a phone, maybe in the Philippines or something, this phone can do the trick. Number 4, what I like about this phone, the cameras are pretty solid. For still photos, it's great. Now, there is no night mode or anything like that, but there is a panorama mode. It does a fairly good job. I took some photos. You can download Google, you can use like a Google tool, and you can do your Google search, AI searches, but you can also edit with a magic eraser and stuff like that. So if you have that app, you can use that Google Pixel camera on here as well, which will help with the 13 megapixel camera. The 5 megapixel camera did okay. The selfie camera was solid at 5 megapixel. We would have liked to see maybe an 8 megapixel or even 13 megapixel instead of having it in the rear, but it does a trick. Overall, the cameras are doable. You have a camera, so it does the trick. Okay. Number 3 reason I like the smartphone is the battery life. Like, I got almost 3 days. No joke. I got down about maybe 15%, and it ran fine. Like, I was still able to use the phone at work and everything else. So it's not bad at all. Number 2, I will say that the speakers were really, really loud. Like, I did a phone call over the speakerphone, and I could hear it. I went to go to the bathroom to pause the phone call. I could still hear my friend talking, so it wasn't that bad. It was very, very loud. Very crisp sound, okay? And number 1, the performance. Like I said, number 5, the performance is just well done. TCL's done a really good job in the performance department with this phone. And thanks to virtual RAM, you do get that expandable too. My 5 negatives of the smartphone, and let's get into it right now. Okay, number 5, that would be no NFC. NFC is a big deal. I use my virtual payments. I use my debit card on my phone. So if I'm using Android Pay, Google Pay, you get Google Pay, but you can't use NFC. And for $120, when you get companies like Blue, Samsung selling a $50 A15 from last year that even has NFC as well, there's no reason why TCL couldn't have stepped up their game a little bit, especially if you want to perform in the U.S. market with phones like you do with TVs. You need to put NFC on these cheaper phones. Just saying. It is a 5G phone, that is good, but you're not putting NFC. That's an issue. Number 4, drop phone calls. I did have a few phone calls that dropped. Now, it does state it's 5G, but the call quality would drop. This is running on Metro by T-Mobile, so I shouldn't have had no phone calls dropping. Number three negative of the phone is, you're going to get 2 years of software updates, but only 1 year of security updates, which I don't understand. You should be doing 2 years of security updates and 2 years of software updates. Again, kind of like Blue and other manufacturers that don't really update their phones too often. These phones should get a limit of 3 years of security updates and maybe 3 years of software updates, because it's getting expensive to go out and buy a brand new phone every few years. Okay. Number 2, the design is nice and all, but it's a very slippery back. You need a case. That back is very slippery and it will slip out of your hand. So I got my case here. But again, if you didn't have the case, you might scratch it up. So I recommend you get a case, even though it's you're getting the phone probably free. That's the other thing. And number 1, it's the price of the phone. $120 TCL is asking plus tax, depending on what state you live in. So here maybe $130. Okay, there's no reason this phone should be $120. Okay, this phone is a little overpriced. It should be more like maybe $80 or deal. This phone is too expensive at that price. The performance is good on the phone. The cameras are average. They're passable. We would have liked to have seen even a 1080p. The other negative that I would put on here is the screen. It's not very bright. You're stuck at 400 nits when you get companies like Samsung throwing OLED panel phones, putting OLED panels on phones that are well under $100, and this is crazy. It's an LCD screen. TCL is known for its screens, and they put up just a basic LCD screen. I have nothing against LCD, but upgrade it to at least 1080p, not 720p, especially at $120. Okay, even Motorola is doing this with their Moto G 2025. It's only stuck with a 720p. I would have liked to at least seen 1080p on phones like this. The other downer is for this phone, 64 gigs of internal storage. It's not enough in 2025. 64 gigs is not enough. You need at least 128 gigs. You also got to think about the software. Android 15 is on here. You got to think about that, TCL. You come out with next year's version of the K33 or whatever they put out, make sure you're putting at least 128 gigs just for the starter version of the phone. You got companies like Motorola putting 256 gigs for even just another $50 and better cameras. So that's kind of an issue as well. Overall, the phone isn't bad. It does get a pass, especially if you're getting the phone for free. If you're getting the phone for free by just porting in a phone number, or right now, like I told you, at Metro by T-Mobile, if you go into a Walmart store, go to the Metro section. Most Walmarts have that now. Go to the Metro by T-Mobile section. There's always going to be someone helping you there. There's a cell phone section. Get that person to come over, activate in store. You'll get this phone for free. Just pay $40 plus some tax. That's it. I mean, that's a hell of a deal from Metro by T-Mobile. That's why I did it. There is a Rebel 8 coming out. I want to check that out. And the Rebel 8 Pro. Looks like it's going to be good with a Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 processor. Should be a little bit faster than this. But this thing is awesome. Overall, the performance is snappy. I've had no issues. You do get a 90 hertz refresh rate, so nothing to complain about there. Overall, the speakers are nice and loud. A couple other things I would like to see, maybe waterproof. A little waterproof. Dustproof would have hurt this phone a little bit, but whatever. I'm not saying wireless charging is needed, but that could have helped as well. Again, we're talking about a prepaid smartphone that, it's doable. If you need something, burner phone, need something for the kids going back to school, I think this phone does get a pass. And last 30 days, nothing's crashed on it. Videos work well. I've done multiple videos recording on YouTube with it. A little fuzzy, but it works. It works. I'm not complaining. This phone gets a pass. The TCL K32 5G from TCL. They did a good job. Next year, if you do the K33 5G, please upgrade this thing. I'm not saying you're going to throw an OLED panel on there or the NXT paper like screen. Maybe look at doing something like a 1080p IPS panel. I know they did that to save on the battery life, which is good. A couple other things. Maybe a better build quality, a matte back or something. This is a plastic back, not a matte back, so maybe that would have been a good thing from the K32 5G. Again, it is TCL's latest budget handset. We're not going to complain to them. Again, the K32 5G does get a pass by me. Thanks for watching Mr. Positive Live, and enjoy more of the videos we got coming soon.